Okay, go.
Hi there, my name's Jeffrey, and this is Sammy.
Hello.
And that's Mr. Petito.
Hi, thank you.
That was Mr. Petito, everybody. Alright. Sammy and I are the safety captains of Team 1197 Robotics, and this is our first safety seminar. Alright, let's get right to it. Okay, what you really need to know. Okay, you need to know your limits. Basically, you need to know if you're going to use a tool, you better know how to use it. And if you don't know how, ask someone. The easiest way you can get hurt is just by not knowing how to do something safely. So, don't. Learn. Sam?
You also have to use common sense. If something feels unsafe, or if you think that you're doing something wrong, you probably are. If you think that you're doing something wrong, stop and ask someone to help you.
Alright. And above all, you need to be responsible. If you see something unsafe or see someone being unsafe, it is your responsibility to fix the problem or to make sure that someone who's able to fix the problem can. Alright. Now we're going to move on to general shop safety.
Alright, number 1, safety glasses. When you're in the shop, you have to wear safety glasses. You don't have to wear them in the meeting, but if you're going to be in the electronics room or the shop, you have to wear safety glasses. There is like no ifs, ands, or buts about this. You have to wear them.
Alright. Also, no running, no roughhousing, no shenanigans, kerfuffles, bing bombs, or zib-zabs in the shop. Seriously, the last thing we want to do is have someone to trip, fall, and shove someone else into the bandsaw. Alright?
Alright. Number 3, be aware of the area around you and avoid bumping into others. When someone's working with a sharp machine, you don't want to bump into them because they will probably cut themselves and you will feel bad.
Okay. Alright guys, dress for success. So, which means when you walk into the shop, you better be prepared to be working with heavy machinery and dangerous machinery. So that means short sleeve shirts. If you have long sleeves, roll them up. No headphones, no earphones that can get caught. Long pants are usually advisable, and of course safety glasses.
If you have the cool dangly things, tuck them in. They're not cool, they get caught in machinery. Alright, respect thy elders. If a senior member asks you to do something in a certain way, do it, because cutting corners can cause accidents.
Alright. Okay, cleanliness is godliness, guys. So, you want to keep your station clean. Don't keep stuff off the floor, you don't want to slip, don't want to trip, and you want to keep organized if you can. So that means if you're using a tool, make sure you know where it is at all times, and put it away when you're done. Okay, so someone else can find it if they need it.
Alright, this is very important. No food or drink in the shop, ever. Water? No. Cookies? No. Anything that can be spilled or have crumbs get into machinery or tools or anything, don't do it. See, this is the meeting room, so that's fine. But if he takes that into the shop, he's never coming back here again.
Sorry about that.
Keep eating my food.
Okay, so now for general tool safety. Okay, number 1, know how to use a tool before using it. So, once again, if you don't know how to use it, you can always ask someone. There's always going to be someone in the shop who you can ask. But if you don't know, don't do it. Okay, there's always another way.
Always use the right tool for the right job. If you need help finding the proper tool for a job, ask, because we're happy to help. You don't want to use a screwdriver to hammer a nail in, because that's just not what it's used for. So, just use common sense.
Also, for those of you who've been in robotics before, don't use the not a screwdriver to screwdrive things.
Just please.
It's called not a screwdriver for a reason. Okay, now this seems really simple, but never use a broken tool, ever. If you find a broken tool, tell someone about it, we'll fix it. Don't use a broken tool.
If you're trying to be thrifty, don't. Always use the tool the way it was designed. Do not modify safety guards to get a job done. Use a different tool. If the safety guards on a machine is getting in the way of you doing your project, find another tool that will accommodate better to said project.
Okay, so this one's also pretty simple. Keep your tools off the floor. Okay. And if you're working on the floor, we understand, but try to make sure that they are either in a box or somewhere where no one can slip on it.
And put away all tools after you're done using them. Other people are going to try to find those same tools that you're going to be using, or that you'll be using at the moment. Oh no, I forgot what I was going to say. And so, when you put them back, other people will be able to find it. That's it.
Alright. Now this is something a little bit more specific to TorBots. Robot safety. Okay. You know, you always have to be aware whether or not the robot is on or off, where it is in the shop, so that you don't bump into it. Remember, it can or cannot turn sentient depending on how we program it. If it becomes malignant, always know where the off switch is. Alright guys?
If it has no off switch, we're very sorry. Alright, number 2. Always turn the robot off before working on it. You don't want to get electrocuted, you don't want it to accidentally turn on and lose hand, because that's just not fun.
Alright. Notify everyone in the immediate area when enabling or disabling the robot, so whether or not it's on or off, make sure that people know about it. Okay?
Keep a safe distance from the robot when it is turned on.
Okay. Do not crowd around the robot. It is very claustrophobic. If you get too many people around the robot, it will start eating people.
Oh, okay. Always cover the electronics before drilling holes or making cuts in the metal. You don't want you don't want shrapnel to get into wires or any other parts.
Okay. And finally, use gloves when lifting the robot. We try our best to file down all the sharp edges, but oftentimes we can't get everything. So it's best to wear gloves to keep down on cuts and scratches.
Alright, first aid.
Okay.
Alright, when you get an injury, you have to notify an adult. It doesn't matter if it's a paper cut or a giant flesh wound. You have to get an adult. You have to get an adult's attention, because even if it is just a tiny paper cut, it could get infected. We work with redwood sometimes, which is really bad when you get a splinter.
Okay. 2. Know the location of the first aid box at all times. Now, if you ask any senior member, we will be able to tell you where it is and what's in it. We make sure to keep it stocked with all the materials you'll need for proper first aid.
If the injury cannot be fixed by first aid, call for help immediately. But here are some simple treatments. For cuts, A, you can apply pressure until the bleeding stops. There we go. B, you should clean the affected area with antiseptic. C, apply an appropriately sized bandage or gauze pad. If it's a tiny paper cut, you should probably just use a small band-aid instead of like a triangle band-aid.
Alright. So for burns, anything more major than just having red skin or small blisters means that you should call an ambulance, or at least call for the school nurse.